Oh, let me sit down from all my dancing and my back spinning I was doing on the cardboard from that. Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy, MM2K, back again with the illustrious panel. We got the homie, Eddie Player One. What's going on, Eddie? How you doing today, my good friend?
What's going on, man? It's been a good one for me. I had a chance to start Spook October very well, and play some Dead by Daylight. It was cool.
Awesome. And last but not least, the homie, Projekt Storm. What's going on, Storm?
Man, there's so much going on, man. I feel so good. I'm so happy, so enthusiastic, man. Just so positive, filled with positive energy right now. It's just so much going on in the world of gaming, man, especially right here in the land of electric air, MM2K, man. There's so much to talk about, man. I'm ready to jump in.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. Thank you again for joining us for episode 30 of the SSC podcast. Yes, 30 episodes in. All right. And we got a doozy for you today. We're talking about this big Stadia Sabrina debate. We're going to do crowd choice and the whole YouTube stream thing. We're going to talk October games and more. But before we get into all that, let's just get everybody up to date on what the panel has been playing, PNTS network updates, and then we can get right into it. So first and foremost, let's start with Storm. Storm, what have you been playing this week, man, since the last episode?
Well, you know, I bounce around, man. So I've been all over the world, and man. I keep coming back home to Stadia, man. It's just I tried. You know me, like I play all different types of games, man. And the wise man once said that I think it was it Ashes to Ashes or somebody, man? One of these wise men out here said the game is old. It's not old, I mean, if you haven't tried it before. Somebody said that. So if you're on Twitter or whatever, claim yourself, man. Claim your line because I might steal it from you. But yeah, man, I've been bouncing all over the place. I've been over on Shadow, been over on Geforce Now, Stadia, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And again, nothing brings me back to gaming as hard as Stadia right now, man. And I'll get into more of those reasons why. But I've been playing pretty much like Star Wars Battlefront 2, man. Grid, a lot of Grid on Stadia. So a lot of F1 2020, man. Some PUBG, some great indie titles like the pro games of today that I know we're gonna get into. Man, it's just so much that I can't even keep track. But most of it is happening in the cloud, and I'll get into why later, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, Eddie, so we know that you've been doing the crowd choice streams and so forth. We'll get into that in a little bit because we're going to really need you to educate us and then calm me down about it because I was like the old man shaking my fist at it earlier. But besides that, because we're going to save that for later in the show, what have you been playing this week up until today?
A little bit like Projekt. I've been everywhere. I played Control over that I got over Epic. Played about 20-30 minutes of Control.
Yep.
What else did I play differently? Well, I tried before the start of the show right now. I played maybe 10 minutes of Celeste. And then I think it's the heavy rotation of every single time. I was playing a little bit of The Crew here and there, The Division 2, and I had a few matches of Mortal Kombat 11 with Brian. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that I can remember.
Well, I'm glad you tried Celeste. That's for sure, man. For real.
Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah. No, man, I want to be playing that one. For sure, I'm going to be finishing that one. I know it's going to be hard. But I just had like 20 minutes before the show, and you know what's the beauty? I didn't have to download or wait anything to. Okay, I'm gonna be playing Celeste. Okay, let me go find it in the store. Okay, let me put my credit card in for game. Okay, now let me download. Okay, let's install it. All right, finally I can play. Okay, the 20 minutes up.
Yo, and that's exactly why I keep coming on back, man. But go ahead though, MM. What you got going on?
So we over here, we've been playing a little bit of Division 2. speaking of that, me and Storm, we're gonna work on something. We're gonna try to do that summit, or whoever's available, whoever wants to join us. We're gonna try to do something Mondays for the Patreon members. We had a crazy stream yesterday. If you didn't catch it, man, you better. If you're not a PNTS Patreon member, you're missing out on a lot of content. We got like daily content out there, and then we tried something new where we watched that. We watched the Google event yesterday, and while we were watching it, we were playing Risk of Rain 2. And I went back and I checked it out. It was so dope. It was something unique and different. It was so dope. So all it takes is $1 and a dream for a lot of that content. Some content is Stadia member exclusive, and to be a Stadia exclusive member, it's $3, but $3 a month. But for $1 and a dream a month, you get a lot of content. So definitely check it out. And we're going to look to do something probably every Monday. Some streaming stuff, so definitely check that out. So I did a lot of Division 2, did a little bit of Risk of Rain 2. That game is dope. We'll talk about that later. And but 60, 70, 80% of PJ Tour 2K21. That's the liquid crack right now. So
come on, Moz, you gotta send me your courses, man. I want to play against you.
Yeah. You know what I do, Eddie? I just play. I don't know what I'm picking. I just play the nicest looking course, and it's always the hardest one. Like, but my putt game is a lot better now. My putt game was horrendous.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I love it. Me and Eddie, speaking of that, we'll do something again on his channel where we got to do our sudden death match, because that was a lot of fun. With that said, last little bit of cleanup before we get into the news is that as far as PNTS Network is concerned, like I said, we got Patreon content out there every day. Definitely check it out. Also, don't forget, guys, you can leave a yappa. We're going to respond to your yappas live during this show. And on weekends, we respond to yappas and live phone calls. Also, what I'm going to do today is if you're part of the PNTS Network Patreon, you are also part of the PNTS Discord. Or we did let some Discord members come in without being part of the Patreon. Say that fast 5 times. So if you have access to the Discord, you can leave us a direct message, and we created a new channel for that. The name of that channel is SWR for Stadia War Room Show Chat. So if you leave us a message there, if you're part of the Discord and you have access, we'll read your message live on air. Because some people don't want to leave a voice message. They want to be incognito. You know what I'm saying? They're working for their government spy or something like that. They just want to leave a chat. But for us to see all of your comments, you got to be part of the Stadia War Room. Leave us a chat there. We'll definitely read it there from what we can't catch in a normal chat. And that is about it. So, being that we did the cleanup, let's get into the news. Now, I don't know, what do you guys want to do? I'll let it be a vote between you two. Do you guys want to
go ahead? I'm sorry. I'm ready to jump the gun, man. I can't. I don't have the patience right now. Go ahead, man.
Do you guys want to do the Sabrina news, or do you guys want to do the crowd play news? What do y'all want to get into first?
Let's go Sabrina first. What you think, Eddie?
Cool.
Sabrina. All right. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. We know there's a big debate over Sabrina and it not launching with Stadia support, quote unquote support. And that was announced yesterday. So launch night was yesterday, as we mentioned. Google TV and the new Chromecast were the big highlights. So surprisingly, Stadia had a decent spotlight on the show as well. We weren't expecting that. With that being said, after the show, it was pretty much revealed that Sabrina will not officially support Stadia on the new Chromecast until 2021. It still can be sideloaded for those diehards that want the integration, and The Verge confirmed that it worked, but that's not the point for many. And CCUs will no longer be produced separately outside of the Stadia Premier Edition, which is $100. Now, people are upset / disappointed about this revelation, and people feel that this sole decision to do this will have long-term repercussions. Let's deal with each point differently, and let's give everyone here ample time to go over it. I was going to say 2 minutes, depending upon who was hopping in here, but it's the three of us right now, so we got plenty of time. Ain't going to be no time limit. Storm is chomping at the bit. I'm playing with his emotions because I'm bloviating right now, and I know he wants to go. I'm just playing with him.
And if you don't let me out the gate,
we'll start with Storm. Storm, Let us know, was this a bad decision for its current consumers? And do you believe this will negatively affect Stadia with new consumers long term?
All right, so I must first throw this back at you and Eddie because I may need a little bit of clarity because I know we have the existing Chromecast devices still out here that you're able to play Stadia on, right? Am I wrong or right?
That is correct.
Okay. And I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of listening, and all that, man. So I've been taking bits and pieces. So if I steal some of your information, please forgive me. I'm just calling it out as it comes to my brain. But and I know you all know that I don't make these things up when I say them, but man, I'm not that worried about it because if they're bringing it in 2021, if there's any kind of enhanced features that's specific to Stadia, then that might be a big advantage. And so with that being said, I have a CCU right now that's doing exactly what I needed to do. Because see, for me, and I don't know if there's other people like me, I don't need my Chromecast to cast anything but Stadia gameplay. That's for me now. So it's not really a big deal to someone like a Projekt Storm. All I want to do is jump in and play. Now, if these devices, and I'm sure they bring, the remote is dope. You know what I'm saying? So there's the Netflix button and all that stuff, and YouTube and everything. That's cool. So if you haven't jumped in, you can jump in and get the new device. It's sleek, it's elegant. I just like the way the floating design of the remote and everything. All that stuff is just bringing it up to date. So, but I'm not really concerned. I'm not worried about it right now because me, Bibbidi Bob, and others who are always behind the scenes chopping it up all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it doesn't really bother me as much as the next man or woman. It just is. I'm good. I'm good with waiting because there's so many games, man. There's still so much stuff that I can do to keep me occupied until then. But I'm not 100% of the gamers out here either. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Gotcha. Before I go to you, Eddie, I just want to say this. The good homie Dustin Oran, part of the PNTS Network Patreon, and he's a Stadia War Room member. He left us his thoughts on all this, and I'm gonna get into that after Eddie gives his spiel. But I just want to remind people, if you want to leave us a comment that you want us to read, opposed to leaving us a voice message or a yappa, you could definitely do that. Just become part of the PNTS Network Patreon by going to patreon.com/PNTS Network. All it takes is $1 and a dream. All right, go ahead, Eddie. What are your thoughts on this? Again, how do you feel about this? As far as current customers, do you think this will hurt Stadia in the long term just by what they did right now?
All right. So first of all, you guys knew that the Sabrina is already sold out?
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard that.
Amazing.
So here's the deal. Yesterday, it was an event that the way it was promoted, okay, we had the new phones announcement, we had the speaker announcement, but the way that the event was portrayed to the whole media was all about surrounding this new Chromecast. It is about watching TV. I understand we are gamers. We do this podcast about video games and Stadia, but the event yesterday wasn't about Stadia. It was about TV. That said, I'm closer a little bit to what Projekt said, because I am happy I have 2 CCUs at home, and I don't watch that much TV. I do watch Netflix, I watch Disney Plus, and I have a Google Home Mini or Nest Mini, the name right now, in the living room where the CCU is. I can already ask that mini device to play something on TV, and it plays for me perfectly. So right now, for my taste, I don't need a remote, neither a new device for my taste. Again, that's completely my taste.
Yep.
Now, talking about video games. That event was solely and exclusively talking about that Sabrina. There was a part on that event when they talked about Stadia and if you see what they're giving attention, it is to Stadia and mobile.
Yes. Great point.
That they were selling right now, all of the Pixel phone devices are coming with 3 months of Stadia Pro. Finally, because we know that Asus has done that in Europe, but right now it's going to be on Stadia with Google devices as well, this 3 months of Stadia Pro. That said, right now, okay, we discovered that, as you pointed, the CCU, former call it CCU, it's no longer, there's no CCU anymore. It's not available on the Google Store anymore.
Yep.
It was $70, and now the new Chromecast, which delivers more than the current CCU, it is $50.
Yep.
So, and people were saying, "Oh, okay, but what if I didn't play Stadia before and I want to get into Stadia?" Okay, you can use your existing controllers. You can to play on a PC, on your laptop, on your phone. But what if I want to play Stadia on TV? The way that Stadia is still portraying, or not portraying, Stadia kept saying multiple times, it is, if you want to play on TV, the optimal experience to play on TV, it is the bundle of the Stadia controller and the CCU.
Yep.
And you can get that on a Premier Edition for $100.
Yep. Yep.
Yesterday, I had a discussion with Chase and Duncan at the end of the show.
Yep.
So when you get that device for $100, you know, unfortunately, that you're getting an old device with the CCU.
Yep.
But it's the only way that you can play Stadia right now on a TV.
Yep.
How that looks to everyone else, or how that will look to everyone purchasing $100, knowing that you're getting a device that is not there out anymore. I agree with them. That may not look that good if you are new and want to get into the Stadia ecosystem. But for us who are already into the ecosystem, myself, again, I don't see it as a big deal, but they presented some interesting points, like what happens if my CCU burns out? I'm not able to pick up any other one, so I would need to get in touch with Google support, and they would ship me a new one. I believe so, but I don't know if that's right. But anyway, I already spoke too much. I need you guys to jump in.
No, that was well said, man. Listen, I was just trying to take mental notes, man. You know, and I'm definitely glad that you're here right now. So for me, I think they have. So you know how I have gotten on Twitter and I praise Google's their customer support for the couple of times I did have issues with my CCU and or like Stadia itself, whether it be slow to load up because there's so many games on it now and all that stuff, like whatever the issue was, right? So I had an issue with my CCU. It got a little bit warmer than I thought it should. So I hit Google up. They kind of responded, and this is just me now. They're designed to get warm. So don't think everybody, I must return it now. That's not the case, because they're designed to get warm, right? So they swiftly took care of my situation, man. And they sent me another founders edition. And I didn't expect, I'm telling you right now, Eddie and MM, I didn't expect to get a founders controller in that package, man. When they shipped it out, I thought they were going to send me the Premiere, which I would have been okay with. I would have been a little bit mad and disappointed that I don't have my founders controller if I want to take some pictures and pose with it in the future. You know what I'm saying? But they sent another one. So what I'm saying is, Eddie, they might have a allotted shipment or allotted quantity of
backlog,
CCUs. Yeah. And that they might be able to send out to anybody that's having those major issues. Now I'm just speculating, but we know these companies don't always get rid of their stock completely when it comes to stuff like that. So,
Right.
But it brings up a good point, because you had me thinking as you were talking, and I'm like, okay, so I understand how others feel. So would they? It is kind of disappointing that you can't just use Sabrina right now and play Stadia in any shape or fashion, right? You say something about side loading, MM? Like you can side load it?
You can side load it, yeah, and attempt to use it, and people got it to work.
Which, by the way, Moss, you shared there was already people side loading Xcloud, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
they definitely did that.
Yeah, they were side loading it and getting it to work. So yeah. I mean, okay, all right. So, and thank you so much, Eddie, for that, because I'm going to be honest with you. I was confused. Again, not being dismissive. I was just confused at. Okay, so there's two parts of the discussion. The part one of the discussion was this like the best way to do this, or how did it make us feel, pretty much? And I will admit, I mean, like you, everyone has said, I don't think there's anyone that said, "Oh, this is great." No, I think it sucks, because, of course, as tech enthusiasts, we want the latest and greatest device, right? So knowing that there is a Sabrina CCU out there, that in the long run will have better capabilities, but for our video gaming needs, it's not retail wise supported. That does suck, but there could be multiple reasons for that. I do have a tinfoil hat reason. I'll get into that later, but it could be that the Bluetooth mechanism, where, we've seen it work so far, but we know Google are like perfectionists when it comes to this. So maybe it doesn't work as well as they want it to work just yet. And they're not going to hold this whole unit back just because the Stadia Bluetooth or something minor officially with Stadia doesn't work. They're going to release it, and then they'll have the support by X date. You know what I'm saying? So I think that has to be taken into consideration, because, like you said, the big reason for this rollout was the TV part. But to the other point that was made, what if the unit breaks or whatever? It's like Storm said. Number one, we know that we were told prior, right, Eddie, that, and again, I hate to keep directing this to you, but you were the one closest to those that may have had
no problem.
different of an opinion. Yeah. What if the unit breaks and then there's no, what are we going to do? There are CCUs sitting somewhere, just like how we were told there were no more founder, blue controllers, and people got blue controllers, right? But my question then is, again, and this is just an open-ended question.
Right.
My question then is, Eddie, what if your PlayStation 4 breaks? You can't just go to a store and just buy the unit by itself. You got to buy a whole new, you know what I'm saying? You either got a warranty on it where it'll get fixed and repaired and sent back to you, or you got to buy a whole nother unit. And I think people are not looking at this properly, like to where Stadia is saying with the prior CCUs that are now not the new ones, that is now considered a unit with the controller. It's not going to be sold separately, like an Xbox One S is not sold separately. You get it bundled with the controller, the adapter, and all that stuff. So it's going to work the same as your console. So I to those points, I may get some of the concerns, but lastly, I don't see, now this is where I do disagree. I don't see it being a problem at a global perspective. I see it being a problem with us, the 5%.
Right.
But if I'm a casual gamer, which is the core of their demographic, I don't care. I don't care. We care.
Moss, here's the deal. Out of our Stadia bubble, nobody cared.
Nobody cares. Nobody
cared at all. And it's great that you're talking about PlayStation, because it has something very interesting that I had on mind that I want to share.
Yep.
So Microsoft is a software company that they, out of the top of my mind, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong here, the only hardware they sell it's Xbox. Sony, they sell TVs, they sell other stuff, they start selling sound systems, but when it's their video games, it is just the PlayStation unit. It's a multi-company with multi-business units, but it's PlayStation units. It's sold exclusively via the business unit PlayStation. Stadia, in this scenario, it's a multi-business unit company. You have Stadia company, which makes controllers and sells the Stadia Premier, sells the Stadia Pro, but you also have CCUs, which is another department of Stadia the Google company. It's the CCUs are controlled by Made by Google business unit. During the presentation, there was a lady, I don't remember her name, but she was okay. I am responsible for CCU. So So once you have a device that is cross business units, it is hard to prioritize and say, Stadia would need to come say, no, you're not launching this device without us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ping Chai would say, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. Eddie, that's like, I got my Fire TV Cube a year ago, and there was no, well, Amazon wasn't out right then and there, but you can't load anything on it, right? Like that'll work. Where on my Fire Stick, I can load Steam iOS, a Steam operating system and Game Pass or Xcloud. I tested it all on the Fire Stick, but this newer Fire TV, which was pre-designed to work with the Amazon cloud gaming service, came out almost a year before Luna came out. And it didn't support any gaming mechanism whatsoever. It's 9 times more powerful, but it doesn't support it, right? So it's the same scenario. And this is nothing new. But the Fire TV now finally, the Fire TV Cube, Eddie, will now be able to support all that stuff because they're going to open it up to that stuff. Where before, only the Fire Stick. So it's the same thing. It's just that I think that because we are the Stadia community, I hate to try to be like the shrink and get into everyone's head, but I think we're seeing all these other entities on the periphery with all this BAM and pizzazz and stuff like that. And Stadia is really, really monotone. Like even that presentation yesterday, it didn't knock your socks off. It was just real monotone and real, matter of fact.
It got it done, man. It got it done.
I think people are frustrated. I don't know. But go ahead. You guys continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was gonna say that it wasn't like a big review of anything. Everybody already knew. Right. Okay, we're gonna be talking about our Chromecast Ultra that you guys have seen leaked the images dozens of times. The only big review here it is we're bringing in another 2 colors. You're gonna see the new phones that is already out, and the new speaker, which actually was a review of the design of the speaker. So out of that, it wasn't like I know, again, we are gamers, we are spoiled, and when we see things, we say, oh my God, I want this right now. And PlayStation had put out some great shows during the summer. Xbox did some amazing shows, and the Bethesda acquisition. And we, let's say we're a little bit jealous and say, okay, let me see. Like myself, I was tripping. I said, yeah, man, it's gonna be so cool. We're gonna get this 8K device. Man, I'm completely dumb. I took a big L.
I am too, Eddie. Before we let Storm turn, I'm gonna say this. I gotta take an L. I'm taking an L live on air, y'all. Y'all remember
Double L, bro?
I took an L. Remember after that last Connect when I was like, oh no, this is going to get torn apart, and people actually liked it. I'm taking another L. Remember, Eddie? I wrote that article. CD Projekt Red is going to premiere on Gen 2 in 2020. This right here shows this is the Gen 2 capable unit. So if this is not getting Stadia support until 2021, this pretty much shows that Gen 2 ain't coming till when? 2021. I got to take an L on that. It is what it is. But like you said, Eddie, when you compare everything, when you look at everything from 5,000 feet, the long-term ramifications that I think are being applied here, I don't think they cut as deep right now. If Stadia continues to not support Sabrina and Luna comes out in full retail and they do, then I think we're having a different conversation. What do you think about that, Storm?
Man, I think you're absolutely right. And my thing is, I understand there's always a lot of haste and a lot of pressure and everything when it comes to Stadia and what they do, every move they make. People do have a point because you're the consumer. You have a right to be upset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But hey, so my landscaper, the landscapers just got here. I'll be right back with that thought. But y'all go ahead and continue, man.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Eddie, real quick, I want to show something. I'm gonna share something on the screen. Because here's where my confusion was. My confusion was, this sucks for me and you, right? Like, we're both. I don't think this is a cool thing at all, because this means that Gen 2 ain't coming. I mean, would you agree? First and foremost, let me ask you this, Eddie. Would you agree with that assessment? It sounds like Gen 2 ain't coming. Yeah. Okay.
I don't agree with that assessment. And,
you don't? Okay.
No,
okay.
I don't agree with that assessment, because Chase opened up my eyes a little bit, because we were saying Gen 2, AMD are going to present their new graphic cards in this October.
Okay.
The new graphic cards supposedly will have something similar to ray tracing, and the current gen cannot do ray tracing. That is part true. And what I'm saying part, because there's way to do ray tracing with only AI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chronos is doing it now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Chronos,
here's the deal. I guess we will find out in about, I don't remember the launch date of Watch Dogs Legion. But when Watch Dogs Legion launches, because that title has ray tracing everywhere, and currently we don't have any title available on Stadia that has ray tracing, that is when we will know how close they are on next gen, so-called, or how close they are to deliver something that we are thinking right now is only available on next gen consoles, or like Geforce now. I think we will have ray tracing as well.
So what about Division 2? None of that Chronos ray tracing. I was reading somewhere Wolfenstein Youngblood was having it with the Vulkan API. You're saying there's none of that in there?
The deal is these titles were already out for a long time, and it's not considered right now next gen.
Okay, yeah, it's not next gen. Yeah, so because that makes me. I mean, if there's a slither of hope of Gen 2 this year, I'm happy.
Because I think if our Chromecast Ultras that we already have, our CCUs, would be able to run ray tracing, because again, it's not on our devices. The responsibility of running ray tracing, it's on the servers. We're just receiving the feed. Whatever we see on ray tracing on YouTube, we would be able to see depending on the Chromecast. So that's why I said, for me, which use the Chromecast most to play games and watch TV occasionally, speaking to a device, I don't need right now to change it to Sabrina.
So let me ask,
all right, hold on before you ask that. But all right, so I want to say something real quick before they get near my window again with the more. Check it. So it's something that just came to my mind, man. Xbox One X, Crisis Remastered, they have a ray tracing option on that game. That's just something to put that into, just to get you thinking real quick about what can be done with AMD's 10.7 teraflop GPU. And I know teraflops is a terminology or whatever. To some people, it doesn't mean anything, but just keeping in mind that these GPUs could work together. Phil Harrison already told us how they could do it with to create better worlds and better physics and all this stuff. So don't be surprised if ray tracing can be enabled some form of fashion with the CPUs and GPUs that they
Chrono Group. I think it was me, you, and Chase Storm that we read that article together with Chase. Chronos Group, they've won awards on their Vulkan API ray tracing, and one of the articles that I read had mentioned that it was in Wolfenstein Youngblood. So I don't know, but my question is, how smart? I mean, okay, but let me see if I understand this right, Eddie or Storm. Isn't the current CCU capped out at 60 hertz, meaning it can't do 120 frames per second, right?
Supposedly capped at 60 from what we so quickly looked into when it launched or whatever. I see we didn't do any digging. I just said, oh, it works. Hey, the technology's great. And that was it.
Because if it's capped at 120, I mean, if it's capped at 60 and it can't do 120, that would mean that Gen 2 wouldn't be fully supported on the current CCU. So if Gen 2 ain't supported on the current CCU, the only way to fully get Gen 2 is on a PC or a phone that's capable of it. And my question would, okay, go ahead, Eddie. What were you saying?
No, you're right.
Okay. How smart would that be, though, for them to do that?
That is true, and you're right, and I completely ignored that. The current CCU in Sabrina, we only support 4K 60. Gotcha. That's the maximum resolution that we're getting from them. So if you're talking about next gen being 8K 120, no, that's not something that we can achieve with this current gen. And to be honest, I don't know if it will be something that they will be aiming in the next 2 years. Maybe in 2 years we see a Sabrina Pro focus on Stadia, but I know we love to talk about 8K, but tell me one single game that is 8K under development and it's 8K.
Apparently, a Gran Turismo is 8K 240 frames per second. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. They can bump it up now. Hold on, don't laugh too hard because they could hit that switch, man. For the if you have an 8K display, it might be able to do up to 8K 30 with DLSS or something similar. You know what I mean? I know they are using AMD. You know what I mean?
As John Cena would say, I would go, "Are you sure about that?"
We'll see. All right, so we got a great comment from the homie Dustin Aran, or Charles. He's in the chat as well. He says, "Hey, I tweeted this last night, but I don't know if you saw it. It's an epiphany that I had regarding Sabrina and everything about Stadia. Okay, guys, get ready. I had an epiphany on my daily walk where I do deep thinking. Sounds like lyrics to go. Sounds like you doing your own lyrics to go, brother. Big ups to you. Thinking of the day that was, you'd better be sitting because it's big. We use buzzwords all the time like data collection, phase, Gen 2, 1 year anniversary. Well, what if we've been looking at it wrong date for their mic drop moment? What if Gen 2 and the launch of Stadia, Google TV, actually fall between January and April? 11/19 is no good because we would have the worldwide PlayStation 5 launch, Cyberpunk, etc. The whole month will be console hype. Most likely the same way with May and June, pre-E3. It comes back. We have several games at the first of the year, Chorus, Outriders, Republic, Far Cry, etc. What if the real 1 year anniversary date that we should be looking is at April 8th? I could see drops in between January and April, culminating a big mic drop connect on or around April 8th. This goes with MM2K was saying about 12 to 18 months being the data collection phase. And it goes along with Duncan said today about the 6 months mic drop. Brother, you get a golden star for doing your MM2K homework. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, the console jargon is going to suck the oxygen out no matter how well Stadia does. That's because 99.999999% of gamers in the target demo, casual gamers, don't know what the hell a Stadia is, for one. For two, when you go into that area, guys, of January through May, that's normally the let down period, the slowdown period, where you don't have the big whoop to do's from the gaming community. It's usually slower around that time. That would be a perfect time for Stadia to bust out of the woodwork and start doing things. So that's an interesting epiphany that Charles had. What do you guys think about that?
I think it all, it definitely makes sense. You know what I'm saying? 1 + 1 = 2. I like it. And it lines up with, now check this out. Now here's my theory. Here we go. So it lines up. They told us, Google said it themselves, Google Stadia on Twitter. I have it. I can pull it up. You know what I'm saying? They said that the new, the Stadia support will be coming for the Sabrina will be coming in 2021, right?
Yep.
All right. If you can hear this long,
first half.
All right, first half. If you can hear this lawnmower, let me know, man. hey, games like Chorus and the games Outriders and all those games are 2021 titles. Some of them early 2021. That is not too far fetched of a prediction, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying now. I'm just not gonna throw too much weight into that. But yeah.
Yep. What you think, Eddie? What are your thoughts on that?
I think he may be into something here, but right now, I feel like it's too early to predict. Yes, we've been hyping the November as crazy because it's 1 year, and 1 year. Yeah. As they said it could be between 1 year and 1.5 years for data collection phase. Yeah. But my point is, we have so many big important titles releasing in this winter window. Mm-hmm. With again, Watch Dogs, Cyberpunk, Valhalla, Far Cry 6. All of those are huge titles, and not to mention big for Stadia. How is it? Phoenix Rising right now. So I feel like right now the end of the year for Stadia is going to be pretty big, and it's just giving you the rooms and opportunity to grow in the upcoming months as well.
Gotcha. All right. Let me say this. I want to show this again. So I think we all generally agree that this isn't idealistically what we wanted. We wanted Sabrina to launch with Stadia support. We wanted Gen 2.0 to be available before the November, launch of consoles, and we want this and we want that. We want a fat gold chain and a $300,000 car. We want a lot of stuff out here, right? But Google is on a different track. I just want to read a couple of things here just to help people understand before they believe that Google, these single decisions and this time frame is going to destroy Google or Stadia. First and foremost, here's something that Jack Buser, love the guy, and big ups to Chase because he's the one that introduced me to who the hell this guy even was. But Jack Buser, you guys hear us refer to him all the time when he was on IGN, and he pretty much explained, hey, look, we just wanted people to come out this first year, give this a shot. And if you like it, great. If it's not for you, whatever. Here's why he said that. Back in March of 2019, when he was interviewed by, I believe this is VG 24/7, he basically just said, hey, look, we know this first year is not the apex of the system. The first year is the data collection phase, or in DICE 2020 storm and Eddie, the Valley. They got a new term for it. We're going to coin a new phrase.
Okay.
Because that's what the presenters said, that there is a phase where we're doing the development. We know the AI is going to get smarter, but we don't know what we're going to get out of the bubble once this thing gets to its apex. And it kind of makes us nervous because we don't know what our limitations or ceiling or floor is. And we call that the Valley. And we're building and we're making the AI smarter to get beyond that point. He said that's the point that we're in right now, aka the data collection phase, the phase of collecting data to make the AI smarter, right? Here's what Jack Buser had to say about this in March of 2019. He said, the same device you are using certainly has better and more rich game experiences, talking about the dedicated devices at the moment. And that will take time to play out because gamers will have to realize, oh my gosh, Stadia has improved so much from years ago. I can't believe I'm still using the same screen, but that's the third piece here. So that's what they were saying in March of 2019 before all this hoopla started. Then you got to remember, guys, that Phil Harrison said, when they were talking about this around the same time, we have over 450 games in development right now. And not all 450 will be coming out in 2020, but games will, a plethora of games will be starting to come out in 2020. Phil Harrison said that. We know 450 games ain't coming out in 2020. That's going to take what? Years. Next, Tequila Works has an article, GameIndustry.biz. This is what they've said. They said the whole thing about Google is that they have this influx of data collection, all this analysis of user tests. Most of the time it was the facts. Like we're getting stuck in this game rather than artistic oversight. So it has to be very hands off. So what he's talking about there, the head of Tequila Works, is that this is the beginning phase for Stadia. They're collecting data because they're looking to do greater things. And on top of all that, even though all this is just the building phase, here's what Stadia has provided so far in comparison to the great PlayStation and the Xbox.
School them.
They have 91 current games just in 10 and a half months. They have an 11 additional games slotted before its year anniversary. It does not include all the games to be offered with Uplay Plus. This track right now blows Xbox One out of the water, even in 12 months. They're doing better in 10 and a half months to 11 months than Xbox One did in 12 months. And
you know why even this comparison is unfair?
Why's that?
Stadia, it's a brand new platform.
Right.
If you want to compare, you got to compare with the original Xbox. It's the original PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah. From the ground up, Eddie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But Eddie, but to your point, which is a superb point, everybody is knocking this new platform that's new and have no prior relationships, right, Eddie? Oh, y'all ain't got the current games. They only opened it up to developers in mass in 2019. Like, we are the early adopter, so we gotta have early adopter expectations. This platform is not at the point yet, at the apex, to go blow for blow at the moment against PlayStation and Xbox, and they'll still survive not being able to do so because they are tracking high with the core demographic that don't care about Sabrina. I'm sorry, they just don't care because they don't even know what Sabrina is. They're tracking well with the core demographic, which is the casual. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. Your thoughts on that before we move on.
Now, I was just going to say that, man, you're right, Eddie. When you're talking about the fact that Stadia was built, it came from out of nowhere pretty much, man. It wasn't in the game for 2, 3, 5, 10 years or whatever, man. But and that's something that you don't even think about this until Eddie says it today. You know what I'm saying? You just get into the whole, because now it's cool to just have the wars, the console wars, and now the cloud wars will surely be inevitable. You know what I mean? You just think like, Stadia compares to Xbox and PlayStation because we play these, and Nintendo because we play games on this platform. Man, chew on that for a minute, y'all. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Then when you're talking about the inception or, you know what I'm saying, of Stadia or whatever, man, I remember, again, I think it was Phil who said that, or they were advertising the fact that hundreds, if not thousands, of developers had already signed up for the platform. They couldn't even keep up with the demand in the beginning. Am I wrong or right? Do y'all remember that? Like how
you're right.
Yeah, we're just eager to jump on board, and they had these applications. I think that the process was that they apply and all this good stuff, man.
Individually. Yeah, they were reviewing each application individually.
Yes, man, Eddie. And now you're hearing about Stadia Makers and all these other programs, man. And now we had the Founders Hub, little simple stuff like that, man. And now it's just so much, man. I can't even keep my mind is just, it's about to blow because I watched those keynote speeches and stuff. I keep telling people all the time, go back and watch those keynote speeches if you want to know more about the technology behind the platform. Because a lot of that answers a lot of our questions because they speak into the future, even though it's the present. That's why I came up with the question the other day in the chat, and people like Raph Gaming and others chimed in when I said that I recall somewhere that, and it could have been, man, I keep forgetting his name, but the bald guy that's the techie person, you know who I'm talking about,
Maj Bakar.
Yes, sir.
He's infrastructure architect of Stadia.
Yes, when he broke down the fact that Stadia was running at 120 hertz on their end in their data centers or whatever, they were running these games at 120 hertz already, and by the time it reaches us on that 60 frames per second Chromecast device that MM2K was just referring to earlier, these games are already running at 120, y'all. They don't have to upgrade a damn thing, is what I'm trying to tell you. All they had to do is just make it where to open a floodgate so that we can experience 120 on our new 120 hertz TVs that, like myself, like I just grabbed, that could do 4K 120 native. So it's just, man, we might have to move and think differently. You get what I'm saying? We might have to open our minds and hear what they're really trying to say about the Sabrina and other things, because it might be in front of our faces the whole time.
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. I think we got to look at things in two prisms right now because it's earlier on. And what Google's doing is they're fighting the cloud gaming battle right now. They're not fighting on the big stage just of yet. Cloud gaming in 2021 or 2022 is expected to be 8 billion, where even dedicated devices is still going to be 200 billion. They got 450 games in the pipeline. They're still on track for the 120 games just this year alone, depending upon what's in Uplay Plus. You know what I'm saying? Even if Uplay, we'll talk about this later, even if Uplay Plus just adds a total of like 40 something games, that still puts them on pace for the 120. Jack Buser last year told y'all it's going to be years before you start, not you fully see, but you start seeing the apex of the system. Before we start crowning certain things as the death blow to Stadia, I think we just have to be a little bit more, we have to look things more holistically. And right now, this platform, even though I think that there are definitely things they could do better, and even though I do think they fall flat on some issues, none of these competing cloud platforms is doing anything rather to like really knock it out of the box this early.
Not even close.
When you go to Ampere Analysis, this is an analysis group. They talk about GFN having more tracking. And they say that a lot more people are searching for GFN more than anything, then Nexus Stadia, then Xcloud, and then Shadow and all the other stuff. But they say the problem with GFN and that tracking, Eddie and Storm, is that GFN's tracking majority is based upon the free model, which which is not sustainable.
I was gonna go exactly into that, man, because it's a time period. It's absolutely clear that the $5 it's an introductory price, and the free model is gonna go away.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, according to analysts, Eddie, it has to. They said this is not. So they got some data that it's actually purging a hole in Nividia's pockets. It's actually, declining some of their game sales, because last quarter they were at they increased it by 40 million, and it could have been 45, maybe it could have been 50. They're logging in crazy hours on that free model, and it's just not sustainable. So as far as in a sustainable game, a sustainable business model, it looks like that Stadia is number one right now. And whether we like it or not, Stadia, I mean, Google is not known for the snazz and pizzazz. They'll do what they got to do early on. And right now they're doing what they got to do earlier on because they're testing different things. They're in the valley. But lo and behold, believe you me, they're not in this to lose this. When the temperature turns up, they're going to do it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Eddie.
No, I just want to add something very quickly here, which is very important. It is unhackable. Stadia and also
yes, sir.
And Stadia and props again to
Luna,
to Luna, to Cloud Gaming Beta from Xbox as well.
Yep.
Because although there are some titles that are not available to play on GFN due to business reason, people still hacking into GFN because it's basically
it's a virtual PC.
It's a virtual PC, just as a Shadow, for example. But on GeForce now being a PC, it's hackable, and there are people hacking to be able to play Rockstar titles, for example.
Wow.
And people wonder why Stadia went a different direction.
What the way that they went.
Keep up, people. Y'all, please keep up. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it might take a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be. I don't think it'll be equivalent to the cell processor and how difficult it was to make games with that in mind. But listen, that's the thing that's unique about Stadia. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even like a person like myself, man. I research this stuff. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's so interesting when you just spend time, you get a drink and you get some food and you sit there and you go to work and you learn and you read and you listen.
Yo, and guys, man, quickly, I need to change I need to change devices. I am a 1% battery. I'll be right back.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Yeah, you start thinking about all of this stuff. Like, somebody in the chat just said something about Baldur's Gate. Was it Dr. Spaceman? Something about Baldur's Gate 3 and how they were. Okay, Larian. He says Larian were using Stadia to test Baldur's Gate 3 during development because they didn't need to optimize the game. It just had that much power. And they're also using machine learning and stuff like that in these games, man. You know, and it's just my interpretation of it. But they refer to like this. What did they call it? A super gamer or something like that. It was something along the lines of a super gamer, which they were using AI, I'm sure, to test for bugs and stability and just everything performance wise before they released that this early access that we're about to get. So it's like things like that, man. This stuff has not been seen before. To a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Yes, PlayStation dabbled into it, but look, PlayStation Now is still kind of stagnant. You know, if I could say that respectfully, it's stagnant compared, and Xbox Xcloud as well. You know what I'm saying? Geforce Now came out. They were messing around before Stadia even dropped. You know, and Geforce Now is still, to me, it struggles to hold up to the 1080p performance of Stadia when it comes to resolution, like native resolution or clarity and things like that, or stability and just ease of use and convenience. Man, it's just crazy. Shadow, same with Shadow. So now Luna's going to come out, and the reason they're not like 4K right off the top, because I'm sure they have the technology to go 4K. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think they can make it work right now. Or somebody just said that they could throw it into the Prime. They can bundle it in with Prime, and that would be good. That would be a good selling point if they did something like that, right? But a lot of these companies are just not hitting 4K. They're just not hitting 4K because there's more bandwidth, right? And you have to have your stuff together, I'm sure. You have to have that technology together to say that you're about to come out here and deliver 4K gaming in the cloud. It just sounds difficult.
And again, I don't want to make it, and the reason why I'm struggling with my words right now is I definitely don't want to seem dismissive about any point of view. I just caution people to say, this is the death blow, because what we've been doing in the Stadia community, and I get why we do it, is we want to temper expectations. Hey guys, calm down talking about Gen 2.0. Hey guys, calm down talking about Uplay Plus. Hey guys, calm down. And that's reasonable to temper those expectations. But shouldn't you temper the expectations on everything? Like everything. When Luna mentioned something, don't go into the ethos and say, but yeah, Luna's going to be able to do this and Luna can do this. You don't know what Luna's going to be able to do. We have no idea, because again, one of the things that we're hearing from the technical aspects of it is that Luna might have a lot more latency because of the Windows x86 architecture. So we got to see how that goes. So none of this, if that becomes an issue, it don't matter what Luna has. If people are like, oh man, this is too sluggish, I can't feel this feels weird. At first, until Luna fixes this, it don't matter how many channels they got. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to temper expectations across the board, and we got to be cool and collective to differentiate our own personal frustrations opposed to what's for sure going to damage a product or service. Sabrina sucks for the 5%. The other 95%, which is the core demographic of this platform, who don't even know what the hell a Sabrina is, this is not going to do anything to them. Luna, offering a cheaper alternative in a limited early access phase, does not damage a full retail Stadia in 14 times more territories. Now, if Luna works and then they come out and they have this cheaper option, then you got a problem. Go ahead, Eddie.
And they can get better games and more games. Like the big AAA games is not here yet on Stadia. If they could do that, of course.
Yeah.
Like, you would be a fool to sit here and think that wouldn't make a major impact in Stadia's plans. So yeah, but I'm gonna be on Luna. I'm gonna be testing the service. I'm gonna be bringing you all live gameplay and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that when it does drop.
I have a question to all of you. So, you guys were talking about latency, etc. Yep. Now that Doom Eternal dropping into Game Pass, I am.
Oh, you talk about it, Eddie.
It's there.
Yeah, I'm trying the Game Pass Ultimate right now, the $1 subscription. I am gonna get a Series S, and I'm planning to continue using Game Pass with the Series S to download the game and play because it is what it is. At this point, I'm just accepting.
Yeah,
but I gotta tell you guys, the experience that I had playing Doom Eternal on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And here's the question that I wanted to ask you all. I put a tweet and there was somebody making a comment that maybe it's the way Microsoft got away with any problem that people may have. Oh, the game is stuttering. I feel input latency, or I feel anything else. It's on beta. It's on beta.
Man, all right. I got to get on that beta thing after you're done.
So here, my question to you, Storm, is: since it's on beta, we should not be able to compare?
Go ahead, Storm. And I got the boop bop for that, Eddie. Trust me. Watch,
hey, man, what I don't want to steal your thunder then. Hey, beta, it was in beta for a while. Right? Call it beta if you must, because you see what Stadia's out here doing without the beta tag. Now, MM2K says he just showed you proof of why he refers to Stadia as data collection in his first year or whatever. But for a Geforce now who came out of beta only after Stadia started making noise, for Xcloud to come out in beta because of what Stadia was already doing. Now, this is just my opinion now, but this is how I think. If there's a few people that think like me, then I'm happy, right? So I do think that moves are made and counter moves are made depending on what the competition is doing. If you don't believe that, then I don't know. Maybe we just can't ride the same train.
But I don't understand Xbox going to see. No, Xcloud, it's gonna be gone and it's getting into Game Pass. Oh my God, it's the launch.
I know, but Xcloud. Eddie, can you clarify what you meant? Because I don't know if people. What is Doom Eternal dope? Like, did you try it on Xcloud? Is it a dope experience?
That's what I'm talking about.
No, it was a bad experience. But here's the deal: Microsoft got away saying no. It's not Xcloud anymore. Xcloud was our beta project. Now we're moving Xcloud into Game Pass. Oh, okay. And what's it gonna be called? It's Cloud Gaming Beta.
Yeah.
And you know, you're right. And after that, you know what they're gonna do? After that, they're gonna say, "Well, we just got Orion Tech, so we're gonna give us another year to integrate that into the Xcloud that we're about to deliver, so you can play Halo Infinite on that thing at 4K native."
Look, here's why that doesn't fly.
Beta.
Here's why it doesn't. Here's hashtag. Well, I like that. Here's why that doesn't fly. I'm gonna put that shit in this. I'm gonna put that right here in the chat. Here's why that doesn't fly. So the next time you hear that croc, Eddie, because I heard it all the time, but I used to shut it down. I've been to big ups to a good friend of mine's, the Real Master. He's part of Broadband Bullies. Him and actually D Batch. I got to give credit where credit is due. Even though D Batch can be a jackass sometimes. No, but shout out to D Batch. D Batch and the Real Master. And we were talking in one of our DMs, and D Batch and the Real Master said, "Hey, look, you want to try this cloud service?" Because they knew I was into testing. So I said, "Yeah." This was back late 2017, early 2018. They said, "Well, there's this thing called Geforce Now. Give it a try." I signed up for it. The early versions of it was, the prospects of the technology I thought was cool, but it didn't perform the greatest. And I was testing it off and on since 2018. So I've been testing cloud gaming since. And then another good friend of mine is Nethos, who via another good friend of ours named Soul King told me about Shadow. So then I started so I've been testing these things for years. And I'm here to let you know that GFN in 2018, without the war chest of Microsoft behind it, performed 80 times better than Xcloud today.
Yes, it did. I was on it.
It did. And that's my problem. The problem is not to kick Microsoft in the teeth. If they're behind on the tech, they're behind on the tech. Look, God forbid that they stay that way. Microsoft doesn't want to do that. That's why they bought Orion, to help them out and then license it to whoever else, but they're going to help themselves out first. But here's my problem. It's with the media, guys. The media makes it seem like that Xcloud performs better than everything else. And they're lying because Microsoft is sending them free chairs or sending them $1,100 bundles with phones and all this type of stuff. And people like Paris Lilly finally had to come out of the woodwork and admit that Stadia performs better than Xcloud. Because why, Storm? Because we were asking them, where's the game footage? You ain't showing no game footage.
Make
you got that $1,100 bundle, you ain't showing nothing. So that's the... go ahead.
We got to give a shout out here to Clive because he shared... a video from Alana Pierce, the girl.
We know Alana.
And she did a video, and where she received that $1,100, the $1,100 box from Microsoft, and she tested Halo, she tested something else, I think Forza, and she said, "Oh, okay, I see frames dropping here, stuttering here. Yeah, my experience so far with Xcloud was okay, but cloud gaming for me, I had a great experience with Stadia."
Yeah.
She was on point in explaining, and we know that she's not a big Stadia fan,
Yep.
but at least she's clearly
honest,
on point and
right.
honest and showing footage.
And she took a lot of flack for saying the technology worked. She took a lot of heat, and then after that, her tone started changing a little bit. But yeah, man,
that's good.
Hey, we know the deal, and see that's why on my channel, that's why Stadia gets most of the burn. You know what I'm saying? I love Xbox. I do. I love PlayStation. I love Nintendo, even though I don't own a Switch, but I do plan to get one if they ever make one that's giving me that 4K. But so there's room for all of them at the end of the day when it comes to this cloud, especially this cloud on the cloud scene. There's a lot of cloud services right now that people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Other than Stadia, but Stadia just stands out because it did something to me and other gamers on this platform. And I'm not afraid to call it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown gamer, just like the majority of, if not all of you out here. So I had to call out my thoughts and I had to keep it real. You're not going to hear me saying Stadia is a laggy mess. And then it does. And then my content don't match up to that laggy mess. You know what I'm saying? That I'm talking about. At the same time, if you're saying Stadia is trash, but you're playing it and you won't show people how you connected or what your internet speed is, you won't run that speed test before you say that, then your words really don't mean anything, man. So I praise PSN. You all saw the video, I'm sure.
Yep.
I mean, saying you saw it out there.
That was a great video.
Yep.
I dropped it. I ate crow, Eddie. I ate crow.
No. I'm just adding it because you said PSN and
people might not know what
because there's PlayStation Network and there's PlayStation Now.
Yeah, PlayStation Now for play. Yeah, that's their cloud service right now that they have. You know what I mean? None of these are on, and you know how. So when Projekt Storm, when I say that Stadia is just they're on top, they're killing it performance wise. The games run so smooth at times, y'all. It's just ridiculous, man. Like I was on. I know we had to move on to the games at some point, but I'll say this real quick. I was on just Tomb Raider, Temple of Osiris, man. Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. The game ran and looked so clean, and I wasn't expecting much from that title. I had not played it. I was pleasantly surprised, man. Risk of Rain 2. All of these games that I might have overlooked for the GTAs and the Witcher 3s and the Cyberpunks and the Halos and in the Divisions and all that for the AAAs. Yo, I can't help. I know people feel like I do because I see it every day, right? Yo, the level of enthusiasm I try to contain it. It's crazy. I have never seen anything like this. Stadia is the truth. I know I sound like a fanboy, but it is what it is. I sounded like this for Xbox. I've sounded like this for PlayStation. So how can I can't be a fanboy. Yo, y'all, I have to call it like it is. That's all I can say. I'm gonna leave it right there, man.
So again, in closing, because those are all great points. And again, you definitely got to see Projekt Storm's gameplay of PlayStation Now. Because it changed my mind. Who was it? I think it was Rock that was watching it. And Rock said,
Yeah, it
"Oh
was
shoot,
Rock went out and tried it after that, and
yeah,
a lot of other people too, man. And you know what though, I went into it with not the highest expectations, and I think that's why I was blown away. So you see what I said right there was I went into it without super high expectations. I'm like, I had already tried the service before, and it just didn't. I got lagging. Now Control just didn't work right at the time when Control was on PS Now, so it was a horrible experience. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I was expecting to see more of that. And some of the games are not. They don't feel too good. You know, it's not up there with Stadia, but it's a cool experience. But when I played Resident Evil and Hitman 2 on that service that day and Rainbow Six Siege, I had to call it like it is. See, so you could tell the truth, people. It doesn't hurt anything to tell the truth. Like if you try something and it's great, then just say it's great. If it's bad, then say it's bad. But I like to back it up. That's all I'm saying. I have to back up my claims.
Here's the problem that I have, and it's not solely with Microsoft. Microsoft ain't gonna sit there and say, "Oh yeah, our cloud service is the worst." They're not supposed to do that. They will deserve to be shut down, and I don't. I'm not mad at them for pumping up their service. That's what you're supposed to do. My problem is the mainstream media that because they get packets and purses and cheers and pillows, that they lie to us, the unsuspecting gamer. That is the problem. And they're doing that because they hate the aspects of cloud gaming. They want dedicated device gaming to be premier. So what they do, they shoot down the best performing one. And once they get that out of the way, then they start taking them out one by one. Okay, well, we did like Xcloud, but that sucks. We did the Xbox, just stick to consoles. We did like GFN, but that sucks. It's getting hacked. We did like, it's a game of attrition. And we got to be smarter than this to not sit there and wave our flags and for the sake of them to down this tech. This is wonderful tech, and it's tech that we're going to need in the future because it's going to benefit a lot of people. All right, so we spent a lot of time on this. Eddie, I know you got to say something. You go ahead, but after that, I think we'll move on. Go ahead, Eddie.
It is very quick. It's just about the cloud gaming in general. There are a lot of reviews going on already from Cyberpunk, who will start a flow game right now. People who played the demo, and everybody who played the demo playing on GFN.
Yep.
And everybody just saying good things about the demo, that they loved it and everything else. So every single day, the industry is moving towards a cloud experience to play these demos. There it is.
It becomes, like I said, Eddie just underlined it. It makes it more important. Again, the issue is not Microsoft. I know I rip on them or whatever, but I'm done with that. The problem is boosting up tech and saying it's better than what it is, because in the long run, you want this all to go away. They have a game plan, and that's part of the game plan. So don't fall for that. All right, guys, great conversation. Thank you, Eddie, so much for bringing the viewpoints of the opposing side to the forefront. It was a great discussion. With that said, now we're going to have to lean back on Eddie again, and then me and Storm got some questions for Eddie because of this whole crowd choice thing. And as we know, crowd choice is now live on Stadia and YouTube, right? So it's crowd choice, not crowd play. So Eddie, we need your experience. Can you talk to us a little bit, educate us on crowd choice? We've never heard of it before, pretend, and let us know what your experience was with it today.
All right. So first of all, let me clarify, as you said, it is crowd choice, not crowd play. I tried to do crowd play with Bomberman, for example, that I know it has crowd play, but it's not available yet to everybody.
Okay.
All right. Crowd choice. Crowd choice is a feature that integrates with the game you are playing, a few selected games, and YouTube. How does that integration work? Or better, which games? Right now we know two, which one is Dead by Daylight, and the other it's Baldur's Gate, which launches in 1 week from now, less than 1 week from now, 6 days from now.
Great point. Yep.
And let's talk about how this integration works with Dead by Daylight. So Dead by Daylight, you play either as a killer or as a survivor. And the gameplay of the game, it's if you're a survivor, you gotta go around and fix some generators, and you as a killer are putting people on a hook. The crowd choice option here for Dead by Daylight works as at the beginning of the game you press a button. You as a streamer, you press a button called the crowd choice, and it's gonna start an animation and a poll over YouTube. This poll will give the options for the viewers to choose between killer or assassin or victim or survivor, and there's an animation moving on left and right at the time. So the viewers are just clicking at a poll, and after 30 seconds or so, the poll finishes, and the results automatically translates into the game. So if your viewers select you to be a killer, you will be assigned to the killer menu, and you move on from there. Now, there's another part on crowd choice still on this game, which is a little bit different than a poll system, which is typing. So after you have been selected as a killer or a survivor, there are characters. And if you select to do a crowd choice for the character, your viewers will have up to, I think it's 55 seconds. They will type on chat what's the name of the character that they want you to be playing.
Okay.
So like if you are playing as a killer right now, or if you're not getting any DLCs, there are 5 killers. So your chat needs to type one of the 5 names. Something important here, they need to type it case sensitive, so it is exactly what is showing. Like there is some nurse. No, you gotta type the nurse. So whatever your chat types the most, it's selected as the character, and that's about it for the how the feature works with this game on YouTube and Stadia. Once you start the match, there's no crowd choice anymore. It's just you playing the game. The bad side of this game that I saw with crowd choice is that you go into the global lobby. So there's no way to play a crowd choice match of your audience selecting if you are the killer or survivor, and then playing with your friends. Like creating a party.
Okay, I see. I
So
see.
yeah, if you could scroll, yeah, I was playing. By the way, this game is very fun. If you allow me, I'm just make a plug very quickly on Human Fall
Sure,
Flat.
go ahead. Yep. I'm actually showing some of the gameplay footage too.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of it.
I can see. The Human Fall Flat. It is a fun game with it's up to 8 characters, 8 people playing together on Steam, but on Stadia it's 16 people.
Oh wow!
Word.
Okay.
So-
okay.
Oh, that's why they call it the Stadia edition.
Yep.
wow.
To be honest.
Wow, didn't know that.
So the stream that I was running before, we had about I think 12 people. It was already chaotic fun. So big props to Stadia on that.
Yeah. No. Shout out to them on that. That's awesome. So this is Eddie going through it a little bit. If you can see it, you want to talk through what options you're going through now, or what are you doing now?
Yeah, no, actually, if you can scroll a little bit to the beginning of the stream,
Okay.
it's when I set up the YouTube integration with
Okay.
crowd choice. So it's on the beginning of the stream. It's before
Okay.
we're doing Dead by
I see.
Daylight. So after the stream starts, it's over there. We are on the Stadia settings menu, and wait a little bit or advance a little bit more because I'm gonna switch the screen, and we're gonna be seeing my screen. Yeah, there you go. Where you have the mouse.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Yep. All right. So let me do this. There we go. Okay.
There you go. So there's this option, call it YouTube on the Stadia. You click on Stadia settings and you click on YouTube. That is what I'm gonna do right now. And since my YouTube account is the same, if you can pause, Moss, just for a second.
Yep.
My YouTube account is the same as my Stadia account.
Yeah.
So it was already populated over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If it wasn't, I would need to do something else that it's what you're having to do right now. And I know Brian had to do something as well because he has different accounts.
Yep.
So since if you have a same Stadia account as your YouTube account, the only thing you need to do is click the button which says link with Stadia.
Gotcha.
And that's what I did.
So that's the problem I have, because my MM2K account, that is my main Stadia account, but I want to stream to the Stadia Dosage channel. So in between what you sent me earlier, which looks like to be a godsend, and what I saw Lloyd of Stadia Cast post, I'm gonna use the combination of that, and hopefully I can get this working there, because they're not accounts on the same brand account, unfortunately, and you might have different people that run into that problem, so
right.
But that's awesome. Hey, Storm, did you have any questions for Eddie on this? Because I know you really didn't get a chance to dabble in this yet.
Nah, because I watched some of his stream, and so let me ask this. So it pulls you direct. It pulls people like up to however many people to play co-op with you on the game at like from the chat or whatever, Eddie, or what? Or how do you do that?
No. So here's the deal, if you can. So here's I'm just showing you how I link my account with YouTube. And by the way, when I did this, then I tried to do the Bomberman crowd choice, crowd play, and it wasn't there. Then we played the Human Fall Flat, and when it was noon and Dead by Daylight arrived, we moved it to Dead by Daylight, and if you can scroll all the way almost to the end, because I did at the end again just to there you go over there where you had the mouse.
I just saw it.
A little bit before there. Yes.
There we go. Okay,
so
I see it.
This is me setting up again. So if you can pause, please, and go back maybe a little bit. Just come back a little bit.
Right there.
Yeah. So there's this option right now.
Shit! I didn't even see that. Okay, you got a lot farther than me.
The window mode and the live stream. The live stream option is the new option. The window mode is something from the extension that I use. So if you could please let the video roll a little bit more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just hit play. So I click on live stream, and then there's a use stream software. And then I put the video ID from the YouTube stream. I just remove the YouTube part. It's just the video ID after the /. And then you click done. Once you do this, the stream is over. It's running. And crowd choice, it's enabled to everyone on YouTube. How it appears. So in order to do that, by the way, you need to have the game open. So I did try setting up without having Dead by Daylight open. It would say you need to open a game that supports crowd choice.
Exactly. Yep.
So you need to have your game open first, and then you link to the YouTube stream that you are already streaming. You see that there's the button over there, say crowd choice. I'm gonna click it, and then at the time I click, it creates the poll for my viewers.
Okay.
So, and then the poll on the chat, the viewers are clicking, and
they want you to be the killer.
they will decide if I'm a killer or survivor.
You see that?
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's dope.
Once this pool finishes, it goes into all right. You are a killer, and let's go to the killer menu. And then there's no interface on YouTube as we had on previous one. Now these are the 5 killers that I already have open. I didn't purchase any DLCs yet, but you saw I clicked on a button over there that was crowd choice again. And there's the names: the Trapper, the Ref, the Hillybilly, the Nurse, and the Huntress. While that countdown is finishing, people are typing on chat those names.
Okay, got you.
while people are typing those names, they are capturing everything of that. And that is fun because I went over Gem. He was doing a stream of this as well. And when it was this time, I start spamming his chat. So I was spamming hard. And by the way, at the end, my spamming counted.
Oh, wow.
Even if people were putting like the nurse and I put the trapper, at the end, the software says, yeah, you select the trapper.
Oh, okay.
But here's the deal. This is, okay, so in this scenario, my chat select the nurse. But me as the streamer, I can still override this decision. I can say, no, I don't want to play the nurse, and I select someone else.
That's dope, man. I like how that's incorporated. Seriously.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like that. So okay, so that's what it was, because I couldn't see that, Eddie. I couldn't see none of that stuff, but what it was is that I didn't hit the crowd choice button that was there and all other stuff. Now, let me ask you, and then I didn't mean to jump in front of you, Storm, but let me ask you.
No, you're good, man.
When do you think the straight to YouTube, or no, when do you think the streaming integration for any game is going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. I think we know already there are a few games that are available to run with crowd play.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd choice. You know what it makes me very, very interesting right now? It's that me as a creator, I can create a game with crowd choice. That is what I want to do.
Oh, you can't? Oh, yeah, that is. Oh, that's dope.
So So I can create an RPG and put like crowd choice to my viewers.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that's dope. Hey,
wow, that's why Creator does big things, man. I'm trying to tell you. That's why I show them love every chance I get, man.
Yep.
For real, people are sleeping on that game and the possibilities, and they just don't understand it yet.
Oh, man. Hey, Andy. Andy's still in the chat. Hey, Andy, you hear that, bro? Maybe we all got to get together and make a Stadia community RPG with some crowd choice in it, man.
Might have to do it.
The attack of Salt Yay. Let's call it. Hey, Ray, where you at? The attack of Salt Yay. Do we get to throw Salt Yay in the volcano or nah? Let me stop.
So, and here's the deal, was it was great to see it working with Dead by Daylight. But so you guys saw the only time that the viewers can interact and make a decision is before the gaming starts. I'm looking forward very much to have crowd choice with Baldur's Gate, because the viewers will be able to interact through the whole game and deciding my dice rolls and etc.
Wow,
that's different than here on like just before the game starts. So I'm looking for. We know right now crowd choice it's available with this game and Baldur's Gate. They're probably looking to implement crowd choice with other games that we still don't know. But a crowd play will probably have much more games available with it. Any game that is match related can have a crowd play button. This one could have a crowd play button as well, which in my option would benefit more to have a crowd play button. So you are watching the stream, and I want to be playing with these guys. I want to be playing on this stream other than just watching. So you click on the crowd play and you join the match. But anyway, I feel like these are. Yeah.
What I was doing, Eddie, was I'm tweeting this out, man. I'm amazed. See, this is why I love having you, Storm, the best of the community out here, because this is blowing my mind. Talking about the fact that we could make with Stadia exclusive Crater, Eddie and Storm, we can make an RPG and put crowd choice in it. Where else can you do this? I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I don't know of too many places, and that's just a dope. I don't know. It makes me want to go out there and create something on Crater, man. As you all know, I've already created a level before. I got my feet wet, introductory phase, and know what the hell I was doing, and that came out to be a fun experience, man. One that I take with me a lot of different places, man. So Eddie, now, so I saw, so when you connect, I saw something on Brian's channel at the time. Brian was doing a stream, and it asked him to connect streaming software or something like that. What was that about? Like, did you see anything about connecting streaming software?
Eddie, he got bounced out. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Eddie.
Yeah, he'll be back.
I didn't even notice you got bounced out.
No problem, guys. Now I'm back at the PC.
Oh, my bad. I was asking the only question I had left for you.
I was able to hear the question.
Oh, okay.
So I think what Brian had, it was the issue that he doesn't have the same YouTube account as the account he uses on Stadia.
Okay.
So there's some workarounds that had to be done. I cannot talk about those because I didn't have the issue. But I know, like, for example, Chase had to do it. Brian had to do it. And as Moss was saying, Lloyd from StadiaCast had to do that as well. So if you don't have a Stadia account, if your Stadia account is not the same as your YouTube account, you have to do some adaptations.
Yeah, you got to do some magic. And I imagine what you can do. They said in your Stadia account, in your YouTube account, rather. No. How am I doing? Yeah, in the YouTube account that you want to stream to, make your Stadia account a manager. So what I had to do, what I went and I did, but I didn't test this out yet. I'll test it after the show. Is I went into Stadia Dosage's account and I made MM2K a manager in there. That way, when I create the stream on Stadia Dosage, even though I linked the MM2K account to Stadia, it'll be able to do it because I made MM2K a manager. I know that sounds loopy, but now it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I think I explained that right, Eddie. But that's what you're going to have to do, Storm, if you have two separate accounts.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we can go through it together. But oh man, that is so dope. And Eddie, we saw, man, you had a lot of people watching, huh?
Yeah, man. I guess I did my SEO properly. When I set up the stream, I had almost 90 people watching at one time.
Yeah, they know what the day is, man. A lot of people just wanted to see how it works, just like when Bomberman dropped. You know what I'm saying? They want to see everybody in the Mortal Kombat 11 streams.
No, everybody wanted to see, I want to see how this crowd play things work. And once I got it finally to make it appear on chat, which is very cool. But I said, okay, you guys, now you decide.
Yeah, so
here's the deal. I think right now for this game, it's a great showcase, but it will make a huge difference for real. It is in Baldur's Gate next week, man.
Yeah, that's what people have been saying in the chat. Also in the chat, Zajic says he was asking, is that available now in Crata? Like those features are you saying that that's just some tools that's is possible in Crata to use when you're making a game? Because you can't go in as a regular user right now and put crowd choice in your Crata game, right?
It has to be a game you've developed, right?
Well, no, it probably would need to be from the get-go, but again, these features are not available on Crata yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
But it's coming.
Yes. And the developers from Crata always said, we are looking forward to we are very well positioned to use the crowd play, the Google enhanced features with Stadia. So that's what they said at the time. So they were not talking much about it, but we know that they are working to have much more Stadia.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did hear that.
Dope. I can't wait. And the possibilities are endless. I can't wait to play the next Stadia community game with crowd play, or the next Project Storm created game with crowd play in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you need to get together with Ray and make Salt Yay attack.
Yeah, man. We can do that. We can collaborate. You know what I'm saying?
Also, Ray Sherrod in the chat says he says that he got his Sabrina in the mail. So Ray, if you could side load it, because again, to ease a lot of nerves out here, just side load it and show us within the 5% that, hey, if you want to buy Sabrina and it work, let us know if it works or not. You know what I'm saying? We got another comment too in the chat from in the Patreon chat. I want to copy this link. I'm going to put this here. Also, when it comes to Sabrina, this was perfect timing. It's from our good friend Charles again. He says Let me remove this. That the headset, USB-C headset support on Chromecast and web. So now it works. Your USB, if you have a USB-C headset, you can now plug it into your Stadia controller and it works.
That is major, man, because I know that you can get dope headsets that can amplify the sound, because I think some of them come with their own DAC or whatever, man, and all that. And one of the things, one reason I stopped playing PUBG was because now that you all have tried PUBG, Eddie and MM, you know how important sound is. You know what I'm saying?
Or
it's very important. And for some reason, when it came to my regular headset, no matter which one I used, this Corsair headset I had, the Astro headset I had, didn't matter. The footsteps would sometimes be so low that I couldn't really pinpoint where my enemy was coming from. So, man, I can't wait to try that. I was on Amazon already just trying to find me one, man. I had to get a USB-C headset.
Yeah, that's going to be dope. Definitely going to be dope. All right, so let's move on to. I want to touch on this real quick because I want to touch on this real quick because I thought it was real interesting, and I was going to do a video on it, but it's the video didn't work out. I was trying to record it; it deleted itself. I don't know. Maybe it wanted me to save it for the show. But what I'm talking about is the Xbox Series X. And Storm is familiar with this. I'm going to let Storm talk about this a little bit, and then we can chime in on it, Eddie. Is the Xbox Series X did its backwards compatible showcase with Digital Foundry. And Digital Foundry found some interesting things that it's not as, it's cool. It's a cool feature for those that aren't familiar with the benchmarks that are presented there.
Yeah.
But it's not as robust as we thought it was. I mean, you want to talk about that, Storm, in detail?
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm baffled by is the fact that they did that whole analysis, and certain games like Final Fantasy 15 was being bumped up to 4K to keep it as simple as possible. So the older games, that hardware is going to be able to just muscle its way to give you better frame rates on certain older games. Now, when I hear the term certain, I'm like, man, I need it in all games. You know me, I'm just so tired of 30 frames per second. I think that's just in my opinion. It should just, unless you're giving us like the most crazy, like with all bells and whistles, ultra settings, I think we should move past 30 FPS in our games of today. You know what I'm saying? Now, these are older games, but games like Monster Hunter World, they were showing, and they couldn't stay locked at 60. So I'm like, okay, then I went on Twitter, I posed a question, put it out there, and then somebody answered that question and said that these games are not they don't take advantage of the Xbox velocity architecture or whatever.
Yeah,
called, right?
yeah.
So but I'm like, man, come on, man, that's just too much crazy talk for me. When I'm coming to Stadia and I'm hopping on Hitman and older games like PUBG that can't run on console and they're considered old now, and I'm seeing these games run at 60 FPS, and you're saying that a game that predates those games that I just mentioned, and they can't get up to 60 with that CPU, and so it just made me start thinking, man, like, what the hell is going on, you know? So I know certain title now, for them to bring certain title like Final Fantasy was a game that and it still is notoriously bad on different platforms right now, with the 30 FPS and like choppiness and blurriness and all that stuff, all the things that happens, that's just not good. Now, that's a plus though, MM, because it cleaned Final Fantasy up. But at the same time, there was still some games that was locked at 30, and then it has to, like, certain games have to be unlocked. Now, I know this sounds crazy how I'm trying to explain it, and I'm trying to do my best, man. So imagine the average person, the average gamer who heard about this and then jumped in and tried. I don't know. It's very confusing, man. But I feel like I feel like it could be better with these games. I feel like all games should be able to hit lock 60 with this technology that they have at their disposal. That's all.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on that, Eddie, about the Xbox backwards compatibility performance, it not being as robust as maybe people were they thought it was going to be?
To be honest, no, because I didn't follow the news. I need to double check. But I understand when Storm said that people came and said, maybe we're delivering you a good performance, maybe, or everything, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I'm sitting up here listening to people say, well, Stadia can't do this. And I'm like, well, Stadia's been doing what Series X is about to do for a while now in certain cases, like running games that you couldn't run at a lock 60, running those games at 60. And a game like Red Dead being able to play that at 1080p 60 when that couldn't be done on the Xbox One X. It's just different things like that just makes you think. And that's why I'm so confused, y'all. I keep telling you people that I'm confused. This is why. You know what I mean? This is why I can't easily jump in. Like, I would have already had my console pre-order no matter what lengths I had to go through. I don't have either one pre-order. Didn't even care to even bother trying to click on the pre-order button or anything like that, because I just want to know if I'm being deceived in any way. Now, I know that the games that are going to take advantage of the Xbox Velocity architecture, those games are going to be crazy, I'm sure, like mind-blowing. Dirt 5 and Gears of War multiplayer 120. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. And at that point, I might just say, look, I need to go to the store right now, cop this, and I'll be making a video that day. So I'm not saying that I'm done with the consoles, but what I am saying is that Stadia's out here now, man. The way these games are feeling right now on my 120 hertz native Samsung Q80 display, I'm at a loss for words trying to explain how smooth it is with this reduced input lag. Yo, MM2K and Eddie and chat and everybody else is going to watch this, y'all. When I tell you that you may, if you are thinking about upgrading your display and you can get a TV that has a lot less input latency or lag or whatever, like the response time is better, jump on that TV, because it's going to make a tremendous difference from what I'm seeing right now with my Stadia games. I can jump in Shadow. Yo, you know how I've done streams, y'all, where I jumped on Shadow PC and I played Stadia through Shadow PC and GeForce Now through Shadow and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's even better now. The performance feels even better because the latency or the response time and input lag has been further reduced. And it was so bad or so good that I had game mode on, didn't even realize it. I mean, game mode was off, which creates additional latency in my games. And I didn't even realize it, y'all. And when I turned game mode on, that's when I started dropping content, like video after video after video. Like, yo, I can't believe how smooth this run. I know people were crazy on Twitter, like Projekt Storm, man, if you don't shut the hell up and stop dropping these videos in rapid succession, man, because I was so excited to show people what I was experiencing. And I realized, that they can't really see what I'm experiencing because it's 60 FPS on YouTube and all that. But still, the point is, if you're thinking about upgrading your displays or whatever, man, you might be in for a surprise.
Yeah, and I want to respond to. Well, no, first and foremost, let's do this. Our good buddy Anmunar. Hello, Anmunar. He's been spamming my chat. And we operate a little bit differently here. We're not like the other shows where we're like, oh, you don't like Stadia, go away. We got Cold Blood Sensei, the biggest troll on the planet. So Munar, you are more than welcome to be here and spew your Stadia love hate. We welcome you here. Everybody say hi to Munar. He says you could get a lot more games and cheaper on consoles. Do me a favor, Munar. I can't find the link, right? Yeah, exactly. Look up Assassin's Creed. Look up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Right now, give me the price on Stadia, opposed to the price on PlayStation, opposed to the price on Xbox, opposed to the price on Steam. And there's a lot more examples, my good friend. But everybody say hi to Anmunar. He's trying to take the place of Cold Blood. Cold Blood is nowhere to be found right now, but shout out to him. I also want to highlight this, though. Asher says, many games need the devs to update the games. Doesn't matter the hardware thrown at it. They are locked. And that's a great point. I did see that in the Digital Foundry video. But here's the problem, and that's on the technical aspects of it, Ashes. That makes perfect sense. You're absolutely right. And Digital Foundry highlighted that perfectly as well. Here's the problem: the marketing of it. The marketing of it was, you're going to get these thousands of games and they're going to perform so much better. That was the marketing of it. That was what blasted all over your GUI, your graphic user interface, all that stuff. And when you actually look at the offerings, it's a smidgen of what was promised to you. Now, doesn't that sound familiar? It's what Stadia is tagged for, is being guilty of, right? They're still hammering us for the 10.7 teraflops all the way back in November. So my thing is that, look, let's play everything across the board. If we're going to hold a litmus to a platform that's new, that's in its infancy, then I'm definitely going to hold that same litmus to a platform that's been out here for 2 decades, that has a history of over-promising. So
it's only right. It's only right, man.
And here's my question overall: is it worth it? And to some it may be worth it, but is it worth it to pay $500 for to play a bunch of older games
and third-party games?
Third-party games at a performance that you can get on the $0 platform. You know what I'm saying? And to me, and again, this is just me, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not the de facto source of gaming. To me, I'd rather, if that's the peak performance I'm going to get right now out the gate, I'd rather keep my $500 until, like Ashes says, they recode those games or do whatever they're going to do, and it's more broadly, or to what the point that Storm is making, they get exclusive games like the Dirt or whatever, or next-gen games that further tap into that box's capabilities. But to me, and gamers that think like me, not everybody, right now it's just not worth paying $500 when the majority of the titles that you're going to have to play don't tap into that offering, and you can get that same performance on the $0 platform, which is Stadia. But no, that's a great point, Ashley.
You know what though, man? So many people that I know, maybe you all know some of these people too. Some of these people, the casuals or whatever you want to call them, they don't care about that kind of stuff. MM2K, only Project Storm and whoever else that cares about this technology gets in here and talks about, man, I'm tired of 30 frames per second. They're not looking for all those upgrades and everything that we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? So for them, they might as well keep playing their games on their current Xbox One X, because I tell you all one thing, I jump on my Xbox One X every day. You know what I'm saying? And when I jumped on Far Cry 5 and Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Motorsport 7 and Gears of War and Halo 5 and all these titles, right? Those games look and play damn good. Now, some people think that this generation is not going to bring that huge of a graphical leap. And some people are saying how much graphics, the ceiling has been hit, which I disagree with. But so my point is, you have consumers thinking all these different things, and some of them are just flat out not going to upgrade to the next system either way, $299, $500, because times are hard, or they just don't jump in. They don't buy in right away.
I gotta wait a little bit different on this one, because
sure.
For example, I will be playing Cyberpunk 2077. Right now, I'm still deciding myself if I want a convenience or if I wanted the best graphic that I can get. I cannot get right now 3070, which is gonna be about $500 for me. But I can get a Series S, and I still get ray tracing. So if the most beautiful looking game would be with ray tracing, and it will be on the cheapest console that I can get to play on ray tracing, it's a Series S for $299.
Now let me ask you something real quick, right? With that Series S, are you going to get the same experience that you would get on the Series X when you play in Cyberpunk? Is it going to be locked at 60 with ray tracing or whatever turned on?
It's what they promised. Now, if it's what they're going to deliver, we will find out only when they're out.
Yes, sir. And that's what I'm saying. Do not get your hopes up high. We've learned, y'all, multiple generations. Don't get your hopes up super high when it comes to this technology. See, we didn't expect. See, Eddie, one thing I'm saying about Stadia is we didn't know what the hell to expect with Stadia. We were just happy that it worked. You get what I'm saying? We were just all happy that, wait a minute, it actually works with the play. You know what I'm saying? So
they paved the way, as I said, they paved the way to everybody saying, explaining that cloud gaming worked, that made Luna's life so much easier because Luna doesn't have to go with the tech lingo explaining how cloud gaming works.
Yeah.
Because the Stadia paved the way.
And see what I'm saying about the Series S is they already told you that the GPU is going to be weaker. I don't want to say the word inferior because it's going to be a great performance system. The CPU is still going to be strong, but why would they make it $299?
Well, hold on. Just to make sure that we're clear.
Yeah, go ahead.
To what Eddie's saying, I think will eventually come to light in 2021. In 2020, they're not launching with those enhancements for Cyberpunk 2077. You may get all the series optimized that's coming with the S and the X. You're not gonna see that in 2020. It's not promised till 2021, just because of the system makeup. Instead of it being, let's say, 32 frames per second on the 1S, it might be a stable 35 on the Series S, but those optimizations aren't coming until 2021. Just so we're clear. But you're likely going to get. No, I don't know. I don't even know about the ray tracing support out the box. I don't know about the ray tracing support out the box. I don't know. I don't think that's coming until 2021 either. I'm not sure.
I don't. Here's the logic. They want you to pay $500 for the box that can do it all, right? So they put that other system at $299, and they're telling you that, yeah, you're gonna get great gameplay at 1440p. Maybe you'll still get ray tracing and all that stuff, but it'll be the less. It won't be the best experience, so to speak, right?
Yeah,
that's what they're telling you. So yeah, if you want to compromise or whatever the case is, sure, go for that. Yeah. But what if Stadia comes out, Eddie? And see, this is the thing about Eddie is he has options, because if Stadia comes out with the best looking performing version, in comparison to the S, as in Sam, if Stadia performs better, Eddie can just say, oh no, I'm going to refund this on Xbox and I'm going to play it on Stadia. But now you bought a whole nother console just with hopes to play Cyberpunk, and it can't do it better than Stadia. These are the possibilities. These are the things that keep me up at night. This is why Project Storm has not bought in yet, Eddie. And you're right, with the RTX cards being sold out, I do want that 3080 so bad. But with that being sold out, I'm like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, So you got two things happening there. You got to ask yourself, first and foremost, what are you getting out of the box with Cyberpunk? And that's a great point, Eddie. But what are you getting out of the box with Cyberpunk? If you're playing it on the Series S or the Series X, out of the box, I don't know if ray tracing is going to be there out of the box, because they said the Series S, the Series enhancements aren't coming until 2021. So we got to get clarification on that. And also, we can't forget either that a lot of the games that are built from the ground up for the Series S, ray tracing isn't coming till later. It's coming in a later patch because the dev kits went out late. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Now, because of that, do I say, you know what? If that's the case, I might as well just get it on I might as well get it. So that's something to look at. I might as well get it on Stadia.
Let me interrupt you and just keep it real and all the way trill. All the way 1,100 million. Where the damn gameplay at with the ray tracing features enabled? Where's it at?
That's the thing.
Yeah. I'm asking Ray Sherrod. I'm not looking at anybody else. Ray Sherrod, can you please answer where the hell are the games showing us what the hell we're about to be spending $500 for in the first place, $300 and all that? Ray Sherrod, can you answer that, please, bro? Where are those games, man? Thank you. I'll wait. I'll wait for that showcase. I'll wait for that showcase, and then I'll buy one day. You'll see me taking a picture at the store, walking out with both systems, the Series X and the PS5. Now, I know Spider-Man. I saw the screenshot and everything. I'm talking about performance MM2K. I'm talking about an in-depth gameplay session. And I'm sure that's coming soon before these systems drop. But they should have already had that out there because it would have generated so much more hype, man. But go ahead, though.
I know Eddie got a roll. He has to go. Yeah. We're over to 5 o'clock. Yeah, we're about to wrap this up real quick. I I just want people to understand all their options. And again, if you're getting the console, you're getting the console. I'm not trying to persuade your decision. I'm just trying to put everything out there as it is, as we know factually. And again, I'm just curious on why we have all this appraisal of a performance benchmark that you have to pay $500 to get, that you're already getting with Stadia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that it's not a great benchmark. It's fantastic. But the simple fact that you can get it on Stadia and don't have to pay $500, that should be celebrated too. And it just shows you some of the bias that's in the community. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So with that said, let's do this. Eddie, I don't know if you got to go at this moment, but if you do, please let everybody know where they can find you, my good friend.
Thank you, MM. Thank you, Projekt, for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great
All
episode. Guys, just look up for Eddie Player One. It's over YouTube. It's over Twitter. And see you guys around.
All right,
bro. We appreciate you, man. You already know the deal.
Thank you, Eddie, as always, man, for all the insight. And yeah, man, that's just crazy. Just thinking about that whole crater thing.
Oh yeah, it is. That was a nuke. That was a nuke.
Right. See you, chat. Bye, guys.
All right, Eddie, man, take it easy, bro. Ray said he has an update for me. Can't be found. Not touching it. Not getting my money. Yet show me. That's all I'm saying, man. By now, it should have been out there. The pretty screenshots and all that, that's cute and everything. What's up with them?
Shout out to the homie JD.
JD in the building. But what's up with them performance numbers though, MM2K, man? Come on, man. How hard is it to show people what you got cooking already?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth is a known. He calls himself the best bot. He disses my crew Triple B every 3 months. I hate you guys, and then he comes on the show, but we love Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth came out there and said, okay, I'm happy that we got Bethesda, but now we got to start asking the questions. When can I see some gameplay on the Xbox Series S or X? And that's coming from the best bot. So again, and I wanted to give kudos to him, but I had to get ready for the show. But no, he's asking the right questions. Like, and I'm not just targeting Xbox with this. I'm targeting both of the consoles because I'm disappointed with them. Right. But when are we going to start? This wouldn't fly any other year. And I think they're overusing COVID as an excuse, even though we know it's a fathomable reason, but they're overusing it. If you want me to pay $500, this is what I want people to think about. If you want me to pay $500 for something that I can already get for $0, just the price of the game, then show me why I need to pay that $500 for that. Don't just talk to me and try to charm me about it. Show me. And I think as consumers, that's at the very least, as Kid Smooth did today, I think we should all ask that. I don't know, Storm, you think that's a crazy proposal?
Man, yo, when I'm about to pay my money and then we remember games not running at only running at 30 like Destiny 2 and PUBG and all that running subpar. Hey, man, I think it's only fair for us to be smarter and wisen up when it comes to spending that kind of bread. RTX 2080 Ti, just to let you know, struggled to run games like Metro Exodus and Flight Sim and other games like that at a native 4K resolution. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that Series X is not touting native 4K all the time in every game and all that. Mm-hmm. But show some gameplay, man. We know of that card. Now we had the 3080s out here, and they're still barely hitting those games with ultra settings and all that stuff at above 60 FPS. It just come on, man. That's at 20-something teraflops and all that, and we're talking about 12 teraflops and a CPU that's slower than the fastest CPUs out here. Man, I'm awake. I just want to see it. Show me the trickery, and I'm good. I told you, I'm buying in.
Yep. So again. I'm not saying, oh, you shouldn't get the Series S or Series. Do what you want to do. It's your money and it's your decisions. It's your party. How the song goes? I'm trying to go back into the 80s. It's your party. You can dance how you want to, or however the hell it goes.
Yeah, man.
I don't care. All I'm saying is that we're just trying to put truth to light. They are praising the Xbox for doing something at $500 that Stadia does at $0. Stadia, can we get some love? Hey, media, can we get some love here? Let's while we're praising Xbox because we're doing all this jazz and pizzazz commercials, let's not forget that when you get to the bare knuckle root of the matter, Stadia is doing it for $0. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, Storm, did you want to hit some people up in the chat before we roll, man?
Hey, man, you know what? We had a lot of them out there, man. These they're jam-packed shows, man. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just we're on a tight schedule trying to make it through this content for y'all.
Exactly.
But it's just so much that was said earlier, man. I would have to scroll up and find it.
Okay.
It's so much, bro. So much. We might have to just do it. We might have to highlight some of these things on the next show or on the next Saturday show, or whatever.
Yeah. We're already past the 5 o'clock mark. So shout out to our friends over at let me see here at Stadia Source. But again, if you want to leave a chat that we definitely going to read and see right then and there, you definitely got to go to go sign up at the PNTS Network Patreon. Let me see if I can find Stadia Source. They're going live. They're live now. So let me do this. We're going to stop being little greedy SOBs and hogging up the oxygen out of the room and go raid Stadia Source right now. While I'm doing this, Storm, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, you can find me here on YouTube at Projekt Storm. Just look for the logo that you see on the screen right now. That's the easiest way to find me. I have some special surprises coming up a little bit later on that I can't talk about, y'all. But you can definitely find me over there. You can find me on Twitter at the Nephiliac. All right, I know it's hard to spell that, but I should have had a link for you guys. But it's the Nephiliac on Twitter. You might be able to type in Projekt Storm as well to find me that way. And tomorrow, me and MM2K right here, Stadia Dosage, will be on the SML podcast. That's 12 o'clock noon
Saturday
time. Oh, Saturday. That's it. Tomorrow. You got my days mixed. I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. Now I want to
forget.
Hey, look, I want it tomorrow, man. But that's on Saturday, people. My bad. But that's Saturday at noon. You know what I'm saying? That show should be lit as it always is. So stop by if you're not doing anything. I appreciate everybody that stopped by today, though, for sure. Absolutely. I can't wait to get back into these games, man. These pro games. Yep, that's what I'm really focused on.
Definitely. So again, hold on. Let me pull this back up. And again, you know where you can find me. You can find me at twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. You can also find me on YouTube at MM2K Videos and here at Stadia Dosage. Also check me out with Broadband Bullies and of course PNTS Network. You can go to broadbandbullies.com, go to PNTSnetwork.com to get more information on both. All right, let me do this real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, I want to get I want to copy this one more time. Nah, I can't. It won't let me do it. All right, that sucks. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. Again, raid Stadia Source right now. Oh man,
Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it.
Raid Stadia Source right now. Go over right now. And we'll see y'all over there. Have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace, y'all. I just dropped that link. I think it